All writing is storytelling. This also applies to your thesis. Just as your thesis has a clear beginning, middle, and an end, so should every sentence. And every story requires characters that are performing some sort of action. The character is the subject of the sentence, which is often a noun. The subject performs an action described through a verb, which produces an outcome described as an object noun. By placing the subject and verb together, each sentence should clearly state who is doing what. Let us look at an example of a sentence where the character and their actions are unclear. Our lack of knowledge about local conditions precluded determination of experiment action effectiveness in sample determination in those areas in greatest need of representation. Who are doing what in this sentence? It is almost impossible to figure out, and it makes the sentence unclear and hard to read. It is unclear because the characters are not subjects and their actions are not verbs. If we identify the characters and their actions, we can make this sentence clearer. Since we knew nothing about local conditions, we could not determine how effectively the experiment sampled areas that needed greater representation. Notice how adding subjects such as we, the experiment, and areas, as well as using verbs to describe action, makes this sentence clearer. What if you are writing a sentence that have no characters? The character of a sentence need not be an actual person, but it can be a concept. Take a look at the following sentence. Because intellectual foundations of evolution are the same as so many other scientific theories, the falsification of their foundations would be necessary for the replacement of evolutionary theory with creationism. This is not very clear or easy to understand. Who are the characters and their actions in this sentence? Clearly, this sentence deals with abstract concepts rather than people doing something. Still, the sentence contains subjects and actions which can be made clearer. Concepts such as evolution, evolutionary theory, and creationism are the subjects of this sentence, and their actions are hidden because they are not clearly stated as verbs. However, we can identify verbs such as falsify and replace hidden within the sentence. Let us place the subject and verbs together and make it clearer who is doing what. The theory of evolution shares intellectual foundations with other scientific theories. Evolutionary theory will remain dominant until another theory, like creationism, falsifies evolution's foundations. Only then can creationism replace evolution as a scientific theory for life on Earth. The sentence is now much clearer because the subjects and the verbs are placed together inside the sentence. And because character action is clear, despite the characters being concepts rather than people. Always try to identify who are the subjects and their actions within your own sentences, and try to place them together. This increases both the clarity and readability of your text. The key is to always think of your reader and try to be so specific in your writing as possible. This can be achieved by clearly showing character action, which moves the reader to your text. By showing character action through placing the subject and verbs together, you may also reduce the number of prepositional phrases in your text, which also adds clarity. This will be discussed later in the module.